Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and greetings. My name my name is Mohd Ashraf Ibrahim, and I will be discussing about my funding on the relationship to help financial assessment by getting fund for crowdfunding game streaming. So this is my title for the finding that I have conducted. So without further ado, let's go to the next slide. So the first slide that you can see is actually the need analysis for this finding. So what are needs? Needs are actually wants, desire or demands, expectation, motivation, lacks, constraints and requirement. So that's the meaning for the needs. So next is, what is the need analysis? Well, actually the need analysis is actually the procedure for collecting information about learners' needs. So that's the general meaning for the need analysis. So for the next point is the purpose of need analysis. In these terms for my funding. So the purpose for the need analysis that I have conducted is to find out what content gaming that related to education where the user wanted. Then to help determine if some existing games adequately addresses the needs of potential students. And final one is to determine whether people would like to see streamer or help others by crowdfunding to help those who are needy. So my purposes that can conclude is that I want to help others by collecting funding by playing games. So that's actually what I wanted to achieve by the end of this project for this subject. So what is the aim for my need analysis? So the aim is actually to discover what the needs to be learned and what the learners want to learn. So for my audience or my respondent, I wanted to make it global or any ages to be involved in this survey. So for the need analysis tools that I have using questionnaires, interviews and observation. For the questionnaires, I use Google Form, which is I have distributed into many Facebook group, which is contain a lot of gamers, and also I have distributed into my ed student once I have done practicum last year, and others for my classmate and also my close relative. For the interview and observation as well, I actually use a platform, a gaming platform, which is called VR Chat, to conduct these interviews and observation. For the full interviews and observation, I will post it another video because that video is actually about 1 hour length. So I cannot cut it into small pieces because it requires some time and I didn't have much time to edit it to include it into this video. By interviewing a random person, the random person may be from another country, many of them from outside of Malaysia, especially Indonesia, Philippines, US citizen and much more. So after I conducted around 20 of them, so every session I've met with them, it lasts about 5 minutes because I need to recite my question to them so that they can understand. Alright. So the next point is for analysis of available information. For this part, I gathered the reports and survey before this on the internet, where many gamers or streamers have conducted this crowdfunding One of the person that I admire the most is Mr. Beast, because his crowdfunding have made many people realize that the movement that he tried to do is actually positive and give a good feedback, where everyone globally accepted his request and try to do and they try to donate for the company that he's using to run through. And other than that, I also watched a video or software or application that streamer or gamers use to use this platform for crowdfunding, and many of them are actually successful. And aside from that, they also gather other friends or streamers or YouTubers to help them achieve the goal, so that this job will not be a one-man job but actually a group job, so that everyone will contribute and can help each other to achieve more faster result. So the third one is the news. So the news, I just scroll in the internet and see many news about gamers have contribute their game hour to raise funding for the person that it needed the most, or making world a better place, and or so many more. So it's basically everyone can play the part, but the gamers or the streamers are actually the one need to move first of all, because they are the one that make the first step so that others can follow. So for the third part is evaluating need analysis. So for evaluating need analysis, there are three: reliability, validity, and practically. Okay, for design thinking process, I will use the flowchart, emphasize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. Okay, so for the next part is I using 9 event of instruction, so that I can follow the process step by step, so that I didn't go off track. The first is get attention. Second, inform learners of objective. Then prior learning, present content, provide guidance, practice, provide feedback, assess performance, and last, enhance retention and transfer to the job. So this is the 9 events of instruction that I will be using. I need to gain the attention first by making a video, which is the video will be here, about what they can contribute for the respondent, like what they can actually do about their free time, watching videos, watching streamers play games. Yeah, that's why I use to get attention first for the respondent, so that they can able to see the wide area that I wanted to show to them. And then for the second point is inform learners of objective. By on how I doing it is by giving them the survey, the Google form, or being interviewed with them about this main issue. So by doing that, they learn about the thing that I wanted to give it to them. So in this case, they could have a more bigger picture to see the most. Okay, now let's go to the next slide, which is the data that I've gathered from the Google form. And this data is actually the data that is very accurate. The respondent that I've gathered is actually 53. Don't worry, I will show you about the raw data first, and then I will show you the descriptive analysis that I have conducted, that I have add up all the raw data, and I will explain at that slide. Alright, so this is the descriptive analysis for my funding. So the the first chapter, or the first thing that I conducted the funding, is the age that the respondent issued about. Okay, so the first place, age on 17, which is have 15 respondents. Second place is age 24, which is 8 respondents, and third place is age 25, around 6 respondents. I will move my camera to this part. Okay, yeah, let's continue on. So the next thing that I asked on the Google form is actually, would you like to see gamers help the less fortunate as a result of this COVID-19 issue? So out of 53 respondents of them, 90% agreed that they wanted to see gamers to help this less fortunate family or person. Move on to the next analysis on majorities responded played and majorities responded watched. So for the majority responded played, there are a lot of them giving random answers, and besides that, they eventually have answered most incorrect order, like they are using short form and long form. So I gathered them into a short form category, so that I can simplify the data that can be used. So first of all is the PUBG. It is actually a shooting mobile game. So the respondent there are 7 respondents that have played this game around 1 until 3 hours. That's the first place. For the second place is MLBB, stands for Mobile Legend Bang Bang. There are 6 respondents, and they have played around 1 until 4 hours. And then game Dota, that have been played by 5 respondents, around 1 until 7 hours. From this data that is shown, we can see that many of the players play PUBG, a shooting game, which is from the mobile game, because respondent could easily access to the mobile phone and play anywhere with using the internet. However, if you can see on the Dota point, there are 5 respondents which have played around 1 until 7 hours. So which means that they have spent below 7 hours to play this game. And this game is actually a PC game, so they may be use this time to play the game on the PC, at the cyber cafe or anywhere. Maybe they're using the private laptop or computer. So basically, the most Dota is actually the most majority hours that have been played. Okay. Then we move on to the majority respondent watch other gamers play the game. So this actually interesting, because not every respondent respond to the previous majority respondent play, because at the first place, as you guys can see, it's actually the all points it's actually 14 respondents that have watched other streamers playing the game around 1 until above 5 hours. Means that they watch a variety type of games. Maybe they watch Dota or others game or horror game, comedy game or funny game. It's just that we can see that they actually use the time to watch other streamers play game, even more than 5 hours. So in this point, I can conclude that they have the time to watch people play game, even though they didn't watch it every day maybe, but eventually they can watch until above 5 hours. So that is very good sign that this crowdfunding could be implemented if we use this data. Then we have PUBG, which have 11 respondents who watch streamer play game around below 1 until 4 hours. And then we have Mobile Legends Bang Bang, 10 respondents that watch one below 1 hours until 4 hours. Yeah. Then we move on to the next point, which is the majorities of respondents wanted to see on crowdfunding. Okay, so this question that I asked for the respondents actually to know what they wanted to see if we conducted the crowdfunding game streaming. So majority of them saying that they wanted all game to be streamed on this streaming later on. So on 80% or 18 respondent of them, they agreed that they wanted all of the game to be streamed. Then second, we have mobile games. So mobile games like Mobile Legend Bang Bang, PUBG and others more, but majority say that they wanted to watch streamers to play PUBG and Mobile Legend. And then we have Dota 2, which is 4 respondents respond that they wanted Dota 2 to be streamed on the crowdfunding. Then lastly, we go to the suggestion that they given for the finding, and a majority of them wanted to invite to the community for the streaming. Means that if this crowdfunding able to be conducted, I need to invite them to the community so that they can can fulfill the empty spot for the gamers. Means like if we playing massive multiple online game like PUBG, I need to invite them into the stream so that they can experience the benefit of playing the game, as well as getting the funding, getting the crowdfunding to help for the one who's needed. And then there are also suggestion about having a tournament. So that's also a good idea for that we can conduct a few tournaments so that they can compete in this tournament and use the skill to play the game, as well as we are raising the funding by having them to enter the competition. So that point we have a win-win situation for us, for our part, and them also. And lastly, about variety stream to attract to audience. So variety stream to attract audience is by having maybe a multiple platform to stream the game, maybe a Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or any other else, so that we didn't stick to this one platform to stream the game. And also they also said that we need to find or share the streaming so that it will grow more frequently, and also making the funding will be successful later on. Yeah, so that's the descriptive analysis. So that's all for this presentation. If there is a lack of info, just tell me. And also anything question that wanted to share, I can answer it. Basically, my objective is I wanted to make a crowdfunding so that we can gather some money or funding or anything that can be used to support the most needed family that have been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. So that's all. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.